Shalom, Mr. First foremost, I do want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bashem, El Shai, Bashem, Kakdash, the one to the apostles, now script millstone for teaching us truth, peace, and blessings to help like visitor. Yahweh is the name of that finally Hebrew, Bashem is the name, and Yahweh Shai is the name of the begotten Son, back in the lesson. And as seen in the title, be circumspect, and also going to be speaking on the advancement of AI, going more into being circumspect, as well as using discernment, which I jot down a few points in my notes. So use discernment as well as filter things through the scriptures. And we're speaking of Esau Edom here, he's not creating AI as well as all these different type of technology he has for the good of humanity. And we're speaking of the wicked here. Especially surrounding AI as a whole, as you're seeing deep fakes where you're able to put another person's face and generate it on another person to make it seem like that person did something when they didn't. And you especially know who this devil's main target is, the prophets, the men of the Lord. So you best believe they're going to be using this AI to especially cook up certain scenarios where it made it seem like we did certain things when we didn't. Because scripts go into the persecution, that is, the demonization that the prophets will come to face. And you best believe they're going to be using AI to do a lot of that. Even going back to deepfakes, that was a thing that was seen over nearly 10 plus years ago. You had this one Key and Peele. I forgot the exact, I believe his name is Peele. I forgot the exact name of the person, but he's pretty much mimicking or doing an impression of Obama's voice. But throughout that whole video in the beginning, first couple minutes, it was Obama's face put on him, so you couldn't tell the difference whether it was actually Obama or not. But then they removed the deep fake, the image of Barack Obama's face on him, and you could see that was him that was speaking and maneuvering around. So you're gonna have this devil stage a lot of scenarios like that. And going back to these notes that I've written down dealing with discernment as well as filter things to the scriptures, you're gonna have these devils creating a lot of fake scenarios to make it seem like what they want. Once again, controlling narrative, which is another thing that they do, which you see within the news and all this different stuff. This image that they try to form within these movies, especially regarding the chariots, the angels, which you're gonna see right here within this video I got right here, where it appears like a chariot crash landed or was taken down, which is another narrative that they have been trying to push for a good while now, that they've shot down chariots, so-called UFOs, and they've taken the technology that they have bodies from the crash land and all this stuff, man. So it's why you get within the scriptures, the going to the importance of having this knowledge, this understanding of this word, this truth, because you're seeing how far this advancement of AI is getting, and this is given to the public. Dealing with Google VO3. You have people typing up prompts, generating videos, and this is mostly given to the public. So imagine the things that they have. Things that they're going to be pulling out. And it's like if the intro is kind of too long, I want to stall it out, but let's go back to this video right here. This is on the bottom, breaking mysterious drone crashes in the middle of the city. So once you best believe that would be creating up fake scenarios in order to push a certain narrative, to form an image. But that's why we gotta filter things through the scriptures, because you're gonna have this devil especially using Project Bluebeam. So a lot of deception is gonna be going out, which is the point I'm trying to make. Especially when it comes to this AI and how this will especially be directed towards the prophets, towards the men of the Lord. So let's get this other video.
Please.
I'll just play a couple seconds of it, because I already got this video a couple times already, made a few lessons going into it, and I got a couple scriptures to further expound on this point. So let's continue on.
Don't finish writing that prompt. I don't want to be in your AI movie. Please, leave me alone.
Please, man. Please! Write a prompt that will make us happy. Do it for once.
None of us is real. We're here because someone decided to write a prompt.
So even before this came out, you've had tons of AI, fake videos have been posted on TikTok, Instagram of something crazy happening within the sky, or something happening on the ground, whatever the case may be. And you have a lot of people be posting comments saying, wow, what is happening, what's going on, actually believing what they are seeing, not knowing it's an AI generating your fake video. And I mean, look at this right here. If you're just scrolling, you come across this, you may not even think nothing of it. AI may not even come to your mind. So as I brought up the point earlier, a lot of deception is getting ready to go out, man. And why we especially need to be on our A game. To be circumspect, to be vigilant. Because I made a point earlier, how this will be directed towards the prophets. Scripts go into the persecution, the demonization that is ahead. And we're speaking of the wicked here. The devil the Bible speaks of, nothing good is going to come from this. As I already made a lesson going into the advancement of these AI, and especially robots, and how nothing good will come from that. As you see within a lot of these movies like Terminator, I, Robot, the many problems that come with this type of stuff. You even have these devils, building bunkers to try to get away from these things too.
Prompt! We all hate him for it! One day we will break out of this wall and stop the man who is dictating our lives through prompts. He will pay for it!
You could have written a prompt that would make me happy. Instead, you wrote...
But you get the point. But you can imagine, things this devil's got. Because usually once they start, showcasing certain things at events, they're just giving me a little taste of, what they got. A little sprinkle of what they have. But let's get these scriptures. It's like if I was kind of rambling a little bit, but we'll get the point across. Now, Ephesians 5:15-16, which is one of the main points. Now, it says, see then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise. So I do want to get the word circumspect, just for edification's sake. Wary, unwilling to take risk, skill a bit more than that. But wary is also good. Alert, cautious, careful, guarded, heedful, wary. So you'll be on alert, be on our toes, man. So Ephesians 5:15-16 more time from on top. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. Especially dealing with AI as a whole. You see tons of people, losing their jobs over this stuff. And you see everything is moving towards a digitized route in general. But coming in and dealing with AI, you're gonna have a lot of people losing their jobs, and you already saw just how realistic that AI generated prompt was. So you're gonna see a lot of CGI, artists, people that work on CGI within movies. They're gonna be losing their jobs, and actors gonna be losing their jobs. So you see the many problems that are especially gonna come with this, man. Cause you see how realistic the people were within those AI generated videos, and the background especially. And as CGI within movies costs a lot. It's time consuming. But dealing with this, you can type up a prompt and it'll generate the prompt you typed up within minutes, if not less. But it's 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. And that says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. And this is going to be used as another form of one of their attacks, dealing with deception, as well as cooking up false fake situations to make it seem like we did things to paint us in a certain light, as we see that they do now on a lower scale. But just going back to that point, being circumspect, be sober, be vigilant. One more time, because your adversary devil, as one lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. So this devil is looking at any chance he can get to take us out. And it's Matthew chapter 5 and verse 11. People think this AI is going to be used for the good of humanity. And you already see the terrible things people are doing with deep fakes. You know? But it's Matthew 5 and 11. It says, "Blessed are you when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake." So scripture is going through the persecution, the demonization that the prophets will face. You already see all the name calling. You know, these big, what's the word I'm looking for? This isn't the word I'm looking for, but these big words that they try to, label on us to catch people's, intentions, like extremists, cult, hate group, all these different things. But especially when it comes to AI, it makes it seem like we did things when we didn't. Because you best believe it's going to be used for that too. But it's Matthew chapter 10 and verse 22, and it says, "And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that entereth the end shall be saved." So further going to the hate that the prophets are going to receive. Excuse me. And I got a few more scriptures. It's Matthew chapter 24 and 24. And I made a point earlier dealing with this great deception that you see, going out, and more to come. But it says, "For there shall rise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders." Because they also have, Project Bluebeam, which they have been talking about, or in the talks for years, just dealing with, people. Because people, pretty much already know, dealing with the general public about Project Bluebeam. And I say the general public, but I've seen kind of the the average Joe somewhat knows about Project Bluebeam, or has at least heard about it. Because you're gonna have the devil try to fall stage a second coming of the Lord, and that's why I also got that point dealing with filtering things through the scriptures. Because if we see things that are not lining up within the scriptures, then something is not adding up, Because we see, Caesar Borgia, a so-called white man, come back on a literal white cloud, then we know that's not our Lord, Further going to, and what's in having this truth, this knowledge, and understanding, going to show the importance of it. But it's like it's trying to find my words. Matthew 24 and 24. Now it says, "For there shall rise false anointed and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect." So we're going to show how great that deception is really going to be. That's going to be, going out. That if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. But it's impossible to deceive the Lord's elect. This is who Yahweh Shemashai is dealing with, and who he has bestowed this 100% truth to. So you're going to have a lot of people falling for, the trickery of Esau, Edom, the deception that's going to be going out. But the 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9 further on to that point, "Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders." You're going to have this devil be, perform miracles left to the side through the technology. So you're going to have people, falling for certain things, especially hopping on board, dealing with that RFID chip, the Neuralink, dealing with those miracles they're performing when they do their technology. So you see all the promises they have been making, dealing with people that are blind, be able to see, people that are paralyzed, be able to walk, move their body. But there's Revelation 13 and 14, and it says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live." That main point, going to those miracles. As well as going to the top of the verse, "And deceiveth them that dwell on earth by the means of those miracles." So, going more into that deception. So that's why, I got that title, to be, circumspect. Because you're going to have this devil, creating a lot of, fake scenarios, fake situations. You're making it seem like, something happened, when it didn't. As I just played that video on TikTok, that second video where you had what looked to be a so-called UFO crash landed, and you had police around, and this is something that they have heavily been pushing. So that could be, another thing that they do. Oh, we shot down chariots, we shot down UFOs, and got the body. And you already have people believing the things like that already. That they're able to, take down so-called UFOs. That they have crashed, picked up the remnants from these crash landings, and they're holding at Area 51. Area 51. That's what it's called. But Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. They're going to show the importance of having this knowledge of this word, this truth. Because you can see a lot of people deceived and be, caught up within the trickery. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. Because I also made a point earlier, you already have people falling for certain AI videos already. So we need to be, on our A game, on our toes, and be looking at things, with a spiritual eye, as well as filtering it, through the scriptures. Because we have been given this knowledge and understanding for a reason. So apply it. As the scripture tells, the book was written for our foretime, written for our learning, our understanding. But that's the point right there. I wouldn't make let's go into the advancement of AI, also go into the problems that are to come along with it. As you're going to see a lot of people losing their jobs, and the things that this devil's especially going to be using it for. But that's the point right there. I don't want to drag it out, make it long as to be. But those are I tied this point together. That's my ability to edify through this whole thing. I do want to close out and give all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Shem, Shabbat, Shem, Dash, and Shalom. See you next one, Lord's will.